Crypto Mondays Global, the world's
Three,
Web3
two,
meetup.
one. Okay, Jim, everyone. This is Dr. Josh. Crypto Mondays Global. I have an exciting interview for you today. I have the crypto commissioner, not any crypto commissioner, not, oh, this guy over there who's a commissioner of this, not this guy who's a politician or that. I'm talking the number one, the first, the one and only crypto commissioner, Mr. Elijah Bowdre. He's the chairman, crypto chairman and executive chairman in Miami, Florida, my hometown. And we're so excited to have him on Crypto Mondays Global today. How are you doing today, sir?
I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much, Dr. Josh. Crypto peace and blockchain blessings.
Blockchain blessings to everyone, man. Doesn't know you. If anybody doesn't know who this guy is, just help the city administration, and he has a huge, bold vision for Miami for the next 4 to 8 years. And now that the tables have turned in our favor, he's here to run for mayor. So he's taken on the big wigs in other areas in Miami. So very excited. We're very excited to have you here today, man. So tell us, man. So first of all, give us a little bit about your background, where you come from, and how the hell you became the first crypto commissioner in the world.
Oh, well, it's not where you're from, but where you're at. But where I'm from is a very special place as well. I'm originally from Long Beach, California. And then I got to Florida by attending Florida A&M University, Tallahassee. And so my formative years of college were in Florida, and just, grew roots here and grew love for the state. After college, went to Wall Street to do hedge fund private equity sales for a major bank up there. And it was the best of times and the worst of times around that 06, 09 period. You've seen the Dow hit 14,000. And then, we've seen, mass layoffs in the private equity hedge fund sector when the global financial crisis, really hit New York. From there, I had a choice: either go back to Tallahassee, because I purchased my first home my freshman year of college, and so I still owned it, and that was an option, or go to China.
Wow.
Yes, I did a study abroad in China prior to graduating, and it changed my life. And so obviously, I made the decision to make the bold move, and went to China. And when I got there, I moved to Shanghai and actually set up a joint venture with the Muse Group, which is like a entertainment group there. They own several clubs and venues, and they also own the Mercedes-Benz, it's the Hennessy Soundstage that's connected to like the Mercedes-Benz arena that we watch get built out there. And so I was very acquainted with pretty much like all sides of China. I've been to approximately 26 cities, 11 provinces, and traveled extensively. I was actually got into doing sourcing. So sourcing, finding different products or putting together products. I was the guy you called if you had an idea and you had some money and you wanted to get your product made. And I'll give you a suggestion like, hey, we're not going to do one factory. We're going to split it up. We're going to do 2 factories, 6 factories, or what have you. And so it was a lot of fun, a lot of work, and I made a lot of money. I made my first $1 million when I was 24 years old in China. Back then, it was easier to make 100 RMB than it was to make $1, with the whole financial crisis and subsequent recession. But it was in 2012, in the midst of managing nightclubs, doing concerts, traveling around to sourcing and stuff like that, I got introduced to Bitcoin. And that was actually in October of 2012. To make a very long, detailed story short, some American clients wanted to do a transaction, and they didn't want to settle in US dollar. So like, okay, maybe Hong Kong dollar? Nope. Maybe China dollar? Nope. What do you want to do? Oh, they want to do an internet money called Bitcoin. And I was like, thank you very much, but yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, because I hadn't heard of it at that time. So, and like I said, I made a lot of money. I made a lot of money in China, but I lost a lot of money in China as well. and I had a lot of money stolen from me as well. So, we weren't going for any scams. It wasn't until about a couple months later. So my birthday is on December 6th, and it was actually like December 7th that I traveled down after my birthday. I remember like yesterday. So my business partner lived in Wenzhou, China, and so I traveled down there to spend the night at his house because in the morning we were going to get on a train to go and check out a factory for another deal that we were working on. And when I got out of the taxi, he met me at the taxi. We were walking back, and he's like, "Hey, so how was that Michigan deal?" And I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I set everything up," but then they were BSing. They talking about they wanted to pay in Bitcoin, and he stopped in his tracks, and he turned to me, and he orange filled me on the spot. It was like 4 a.m. out in the middle of the streets. I'm like, "Yo, man, okay, like, can we at least get in the house first?" Like, all right, we give me all this, skirt, and so
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
So as you are, because you're a businessman, you're an entrepreneur, you're a hustler, you're a mover, and you said, okay, I'm going to get into this now.
yeah. Well, I still wasn't full feet in, right? Even after a dream, and we'll say that story for another day.
Yeah.
The true origin story. But I had a dream that night about it, and I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. My training as a financial analyst, as a fiduciary, has always been focused on contrary to finding exogenous causes or the systemic risk, or thematic, motifs in industries and sectors and for investments. And so, coupled with that, with my church upbringing, I had a very colorful download from the universe, from the Most High, about what was to come. And I'm living a movie because it's 5 of the 7 things from my dream in 2012 have happened. And I kind of give you goosebumps every time I think about it. It gives kind of goosebumps. But long story short, so started trading the coin. I got like 8 accounts. All right, and we were using it before it was popular, before it was any Coinbase or Robinhood, nothing like that. Blockchain.io, and I was acquainted with the nightlife, so I knew like where the triads did their mahjong gambling at. So you can go at 4 a.m., 24-hour arcade, and in the back,
Oh man, but you're getting thousands and thousands and thousands of voters and stuff like that too. So let's move on from the Bitcoin, and so that's a very cool story, and I'm sure a lot of our people would love to hear that in vast detail, and me too. But all the juice. But then you got to Miami because then this whole thing happened where Mayor Suarez, the younger, was elected, and then. How did that whole thing? How did he find you, and how did that happen? And you came to Miami.
Yes. So I was, I guess I should say, recruited to come back to America. I was doing a business called EB5, and so it was like helping Chinese families get investor visa. And so some groups that I was affiliated with ended up making a sizable investment into downtown Miami for the Miami World Center. And so I was chosen, elected to come back and do the compliance on that.
So you're so one of the strengths about you is you're trusted from all sides. Yeah. So you're the kind of guy that, and I was like this in Kazakhstan, between the Kazakhs and the Chinese and the Russians and the Americans in the West, right? They need these kind of guys who everybody trusts as in the middle to ensure, the deal goes through and everybody gets what they need. So you're a perfect person for the mayor then. And so they pulled you. So you brought in some heavy finance for this big beautiful stadium, and they're like, oh well, you know what? You got all these skills too, and you're like a pro crypto guy. So why don't you jump in this role? It's like
come to the city, and I did. I took the job with the city, and my title was a special project specialist. That was on my card. I'm basically like an internal fixer, pretty much monitoring and reporting on the.
I didn't want to say fixer.
Maybe I put it. I was.
You said I'm the commissioner, bitch.
At the time, I was still evangelizing, and I had lived the whole life in China and Southeast Asia, globally with crypto, with blockchain, with Bitcoin. And when I came back, I was coming back between 2014, 2015, but then I actually made the permanent move 2016. Once they signed the deal and they broke ground. But that I met Suarez then during that period of time. And we were at a certain venue, and he was asking like, "Oh yeah, you're the commissioner's boy." I'm like, "Yeah," and it's like, "Oh, so what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I do blockchain and Bitcoin." And we, this was 2014. I would start telling about what I was doing in China, about Asia, about Bitcoin, about all kind of stuff. And then I'd started working for the city, managing a lot, over 20 of the different, renovation, construction projects, the big developments. So past the Miami World Center development to condos, restaurants, to several schools, but a lot of condos, a lot of high rises. And so making sure that the developers had what they need from the city, right? And make sure that they weren't getting any tied up with their communication or their resources, but then also making sure that the developers, kept their promise to the community and to the city and the other, things that they had to adhere to in the economic incentive agreement. And so, yeah, had like a dual mandate my whole time here. So my whole time in Miami has been in public service at the city level, at the community level, and at the county level. But at the time, I was always preaching about blockchain, and so I've been to countless quinceañeras and bar mitzvahs. And pull up, I have a family friend, have my backpack, my laptop, and help pass city commissioners, pass county commissioners, download their first blockchain wallets and sell them their first $100 or $500 or $1,000 of Bitcoin. This is like 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. 2020, I wrote the blockchain board of Miami resolution and submitted it, because I was on a millennial task force and then a millennial advisory board for the past county mayor, Jimenez. And so I said, oh, okay. I'm getting deeper. I'm getting trusted more. My profile's raising up in the government, and I'm really kind of have this wired up, because I write white papers for zero knowledge proof systems for distributed ledger technology.
Right.
So I kind of see it like the Matrix, like all right, the system's here, And so I'm like, okay, this is a mechanism in which I'm going to introduce the blockchain into the municipal structure and system of Miami-Dade County. And so I wrote it up and submitted it, and it did nothing. It fell flat, It just kind of sat there until FTX came.
Oh, I think everybody been in blockchain a while knows what that feeling is. That feeling of, boy, I got a game-changing thing right here, and I've constructed it, and I've thought through, and this is gonna just be the thing. And then you're like, okay, man. Then you go there, and it's like nothing.
Yeah. But I was very consoled at the fact that I did it, and also too knowing the future.
Yeah. Knowing the now. You're knowing the now. So you've written several policies and blockchain and crypto, and so that's great, man. But why don't you just stay as a crypto commissioner? Why is the mayor see even possible? And then tell me why you're running. I don't want to jump too far too ahead.
No,
I would love to talk about China and your business interests and stuff. But we gotta get to the here and now, my brother. And so let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, why am I running for mayor? So one,
I know. Now I know. We know that you want to implement a blockchain and crypto policy. I'm just saying, why can't you do that from your current position? Why you gotta be mayor?
Well, one, because the mayor position is paid. No, oh no, not at all. I spent $410,000 of my own money in this seat as cryptocurrency chair, and that's everything from building our own staff, going to sponsoring the envoy to Wyoming, with our shout outs to Wyoming and our people in Cheyenne and
Crypto Mondays LA. But
You
this is a real patriot I'm talking to. I'm talking to a real patriot. He put $410,000 of his own money to be supporting these kind of things. My God. All right. So now that's beautiful. That's another thing of trust, right? So we got this guy who can work in between all different parties successfully. And we're not just talking about the Chinese and the Americans. We're talking about people building condos in Miami. And you know how those people are.
yeah.
And then
Yes.
but then you got the pro blockchain versus the anti blockchain, and you know how those people are. Great people on both sides. And then
Absolutely.
no, that was a bad joke. But then,
Both sides.
on both sides. And but then you also so you're working across all these different constituencies and real successfully working with different people, different cultures. You know, we've got in Miami just such a melting pot. And so you could speak in Mandarin with one people, then you're talking to the Cubanos and in Espanol, you're having some Corderito, and then down there in Calle Ocho. And then you're down there all the way down in Kendall or South Miami. You're talking about building houses and construction zones. You're talking about affordability. You're doing all this on your own dime. Okay, so we know that you probably just be the mayor just because you've been through so much shit. But we love Miami more.
Miami is the place, it's the center of the world.
You love it, man. And so the Magic City. So, yeah, but I'm sorry I cut you off. You're going to run for mayor because you think that there needs to be some problems fixed and these other guys can't do it.
Well, I wouldn't put it quite that way, even though it's absolutely true. It's just, it's also the fact that I need to be the mayor. One, to increase the potency in introducing these systems and implementing them. Right, Miami is going to be the model for metros, municipalities across the country, period. Municipalities need new money. And I'm going to show them our living test case of how to leverage the money power in tech and actually in order to get new money. And I actually wrote an article, an editorial about it about 3 years ago called, the next capital of capital, Miami. And just kind of how the county got $95 million from the FTX deal, a good, bad, ugly. And the city is still sitting on $5 million from the Miami coin deal, good, bad, ugly, right? There's not many places that municipalities can capture that much money, yet that's not already planned for, it's not leveraged from an asset, right? And so, the real dollars, practical, that can put into programs and put into actual services, bolster our resources, make resilient our I start preaching. Let's we need new money. It's not just about I'm not shouts out to New York. I'm not Zoran and Bannon, but I want to provide direct benefit to our people as well. Not from taxing the rich, not from squeezing the poor, but imploring the new systems and new technologies for efficiency to gain new money, all right, and inject that into Miami. Miami is a small town, about 500,000 residents, 246,000 working adults, but it has world weight. It has weight like Singapore or Dubai or Monaco. And each one of these places, the tourists, whether it's the tourist dollars, whether it's the assets, the oil, what have you, they provide robust benefits and assistance to the citizens. All right, it's out of our mind because we just say, "Oh, well, how are you going to pay for that?" Because that's a trope that's used.
Yeah.
And I know what to do, and it's one of the reasons why I say I'm a business first candidate. Not a business only candidate, but business first because the businesses and enterprises that I'm connected with are about efficiency, are about transparency, they're about making things bigger, faster, safer, cheaper, stronger. Right, and that's better. And we need those things now because, to be just quite honest, I want to bring the mood down, but we're headed for disaster here in Dade County. There's T-minus catastrophe if we don't course correct and really put in some bold moves. And the fact is, it's not that hard. It's actually kind of simple, right? And it might not be simple to the uninitiated, but we've been working on these systems and test cases for 6, 7, 8 years, right? Crypto, CiviSync, syncing everyone up, creating a unique UX UI experience for each citizen, right? Public open trust, a charitable account that is a wallet that is is open, that is accessible, that no one can hack, that doesn't belong to anyone. No private slush fund or the mayor. No hidden books. Just we know what happens. So it's like, okay,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, yeah, and
Yeah.
through the transparency and the increased efficiency, we're going to provide significant public beneficiary.
Wow, I love that. I love that this idea, the possibility of not taxing the rich and not squeezing the poor. And then, well, then people say, how are you going to do that? And you say, well, the obvious way, new money, not the old money, because the old money is going to be this, is like doing one of the others, right? And see this idea of this dynamic. But it's this idea also when people talk to me or ask me about blockchain or arguing with me about it or whatever, they're like, this, how can you have transparency and privacy at the same time? And I tell you what, it's possible. You were working on ZK systems early on, and this and that, and everybody in blockchain knows this is possible. Now, other people are the general public is learning about these things, but it is possible. So you're saying it is possible to prevent ourselves from in Miami from going over this cliff, like with debt, and a lot of these are national problems, but there's also then the local problems, and then you got the immigration, and then you got the housing and affordability and all these other things. You said it's really a relatively small city in comparison to New York or these other ones, but it holds a lot of weight. All right, so you've already made moves to bring in new money. You've already got, so he can do that. Boom. All right.
Yeah.
Now, in a sense, what other things are in blockchain? Boom. Okay, this efficiency, this transparency, and like you said, the public open trust is this ability for the people to really have that public open trust and know that the money isn't being moved around. And you scratch my back and so forth. So, which is what's happening a lot, right? And where people are tired of it, right? People are tired of it. But how does the general guy, who's in the general person in Miami now? I think everybody in blockchain is going to be behind you. Boom.
Yes.
And in this call, all blockchain people, right? So anybody that watches my show, there's like thousands and thousands of people that watch my show, and they're all blockchain geeks. All right. So, so the general public, I'm sure you've got, agenda for that, right? And I love the idea of the UBI that you mentioned, but it's like a kind of a Bitcoin UBI, or crypto would be cool. Looking at education and also bringing in experts and then just keeping Miami and moving it up, and immigration and these other things. But since we're on a kind of a blockchain crypto show, we are very limited on time at Crypto Mondays, of course. And you're a very busy guy. He's got to go kick ass and become the mayor in 5 days. So, but and by the way, anybody who's watching and who has the time, come down to Miami for the Blockchain Futures Conference, where Commissioner Bowdre will be, along many others, Eric Trump and many others. Some real top level people. I'll be there. We'll be there. Fort Lauderdale, Crypto Mondays will be there with we're recording this on Sunday. It will be tomorrow. Then you go to Crypto Mondays Miami, where I believe you'll be, right? Yeah, absolutely. But what surprised me is like when we got in touch, so I could promote this, that I heard there was these other candidates are trying to like get into the crypto space too. And like, who are these other people? And so tell me, just to tell our community, just like, she's already got like a congressional seat and she just wants to jump in it. And so why are these people interested in crypto all of a sudden when before they was just like crickets?
Well, it's trending. It's trendy, and specifically, one of my opponents, he doesn't really have I don't want to be disparaging, but they recognize that it's the strongest thing. It's financial technology, and the young people. So the average age, I'm 39. I'll be 40 December 6th, and the average age is 59 years old. And not being ageist, but
the average age of the candidates.
Is 59. So their engagement, their skill level in it is limited to none. but their instincts as a politician, being able to hear and say, "Oh, what? Oh, is that the hot thing? Yeah, I'm fully on board." They're excellent politicians. I'm an amateur. This is my very first public race, but I'm an expert public servant. And I'm a real blockchainer and a global business person. So I bring that background
The dark horse. The dark horse. That's what you are, man. And so we got the dark horse here from Crypto Mondays Global, man. I'm really honored to have you on here. And I'm, as a disclaimer here, guys, I'm supporting Bowdre for mayor. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know this because I'm all over the world. And as a matter of fact, people ask me all the time. The number one question they ask me, "Where are you now, Josh?" And it looks like I'm right here in the snow, but actually nobody ever knows where I'm at. I just show up where and when I please. They call me Le Chat in France because I come and go as I please. And I don't even get tickets. But I do got one ticket. It's my voter registration card for Miami-Dade. And this is my voter. Yeah, this is me right here, baby.
way on the end.
Me right here.
I love it.
Doral. So I'm a resident of Doral, and I'm gonna come back. I said this already. Said a promo video out, but I want to say this to anybody watching. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna vote. I never voted before, and I'll tell that in another story why. But I've never voted before for anybody in the city, and I never had the chance. But this is my first chance. I'm gonna come vote for you because I believe in you and what you're doing. So that's my disclaimer for everybody out there. I don't want to knock the other candidates. But I think that Chairman Bowdre is young. He has a lot of experience, and he knows what he's doing, and he knows what's going to come next. You heard him say, you heard him say that the Lord, and I'm not talking about the Lord that Zoran Mamdani is following here. All right, I'm talking about the Lord Jesus Christ.
Hallelujah.
And 5 of the 7 things came to pass. And you know what? He's talking on this call about transparency. He's talking about public trust. He's talking about new money into the city of Miami. He's talking about a global place where people can come from all cultures, all backgrounds. And he's also looking at the rich and the poor working together, and also to make the city great. And then the young and the old also working together. So that's my little last plug for you, man. But you need a lot of help. So if anybody's on this call and you are a Crypto Mondays person and one of our 108,000 members worldwide, and you have some connections in Miami, or you have some high-level blockchain connections, I don't care if it's with one of the exchanges or with decentralized exchange or with a company, Bitcoin versus crypto, that doesn't matter. Obviously, Bitcoin is going to be the standard, and that's also for Miami, I'm sure. But then we're not going to discount Crypto Mondays. We're agnostic. We don't discount any other cryptos. We welcome everything as long as it's legitimate and not some scam or rug pull, which I'm not going to say anything about politicians and people in power right now and meme coin scams, but that is a possibility. And I think future Mayor Bowdre is not going to let anything like that happen in Miami because he's seen it already. And he's a man of the people. So just tell us if people want to contribute to your campaign, if people want to get in touch with your campaign people. We're going to put that information up in the description. But just let us know right now before we go what's the best way to support you, what you need, brother.
In dime, in kind, and in time. We do need the fiat notes. The campaign runs on the fiat notes. But you can send them. You can send it in crypto that we can convert, and you can go to my website www.bowdreformayor.com, and that's BOWDRE, or like bow tie and Dr. Dre, the number 4 and mayor.com, as well as on Instagram. You can hit me up on Instagram at chairman _Bowdre, BOWDRE. And you can get my socials on my handles at LinkedIn. It's Chairman Bowdre. Everything is Chairman Bowdre. And the website is bowdreformayor.com. Or also if it's faster, they could send it to your wallet. On behalf. So this is for that guy that's running for mayor, the crypto candidate. That's doing his campaign on chain. That's going to put the administration and the budget on chain from day one. Every decision, every dime, every time is going to be on the block. It's the people's money. You know, we're going to have a dramatic change with a very simple step, you know, and implementing this technology, you know, for us all, because it's needed and we can do it and we should.
Thing. It's needed. I like that. I like that. And so, yeah. So, guys, if there's if you have the ability to contribute something, please do. Okay, and and Fiat's the best. But we also, Bruce, I think Bruce Porter Jr. and some others have a super PAC for you, and we will make sure to put that information. And remember, Bowdre is like both Tie and Dr. Dre. I like that. So, guys, this is needed. Okay, this is a huge opportunity for our industry to be front and center in a major political office in the most beautiful city on earth. So
You're in the crypto city, in the crypto year, and I'm the crypto chair running for crypto mayor.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, man. All right, we'll see you in a couple days in Miami.